Hello everyone, hope everyone is keeping fine. Today's topic that I'm going to talk about is between India and China and the conflict that has been going on for the last 4 to 5 months. The conflict started over Galwan Valley, which is in Ladakh, one of the highest points of India. And Galwan Valley is strategically very important because, as per the Chinese strategic engagement, it's considered one of the important places because it is in Ladakh, which is under the purview of the five finger security strategy that was envisioned by Mao Zedong. And as for the conflict, the Chinese incursions have always been there in that region, apart from Arunachal Pradesh and as well as Sikkim, which are very much hotly contested between the Chinese and the Indian soldiers. The Galwan Valley is a very dry, cold, desert kind of area because it's in Ladakh, where oxygen levels are very uh, it's quite sparse because it's in the very high altitude region. And the conflict reached a boiling point uh, when there was a brutal murdering of Indian soldiers. The exact numbers are disputed, and then Indian soldiers bravely took action against the Chinese soldiers and gave them a befitting reply. Not only that, there has been a lot of flag meetings between the senior army officers from both the sides, and as well as ministers having discussions as well with our Minister for External Affairs, Mr. Jai Shankar, having a discussion with the Chinese counterpart, and there has also been diplomatic level discussions. But overall, we can see that there has been no real progress, except the fact that the Chinese say that they are pulling back the troops. But the question always remains that can you trust the Chinese? So, in terms of the real implementation of the Chinese pulling back the troops, it's hardly to be seen. Therefore, I think that the main issue remains that India needs to plan for a long battle, and this has to be a very strategic game because the winters are setting in and the Chinese already have set up their bunkers, and the Indians have also prepared themselves by getting equipment and gear needed for winter stationing from Europe, as well as some indigenous equipments. So I think this conflict has got a long-term repercussions because it's not only about the projection of power but also to maintain the territories, because the Chinese are looking to incur into the Indian territory through Ladakh as one of the new points, and also to incite problems in other adjoining areas. So this remains to be seen that how the conflict of India and China will shape up from that region, because already Aksai Chin from the times of 1962 and as well as 1967. Though the battle was not really in Aksai Chin at that time, it was more in Chongla in Sikkim. But Aksai Chin has been a conflicting point for the very first Indo-Chinese war in 1962, and we all know that due to lack of strategic preparation from certain quarters, India could not really have a real proper response. But since then, times have evolved, and the Indian army, the higher administration, have started taking things much more in a long-term strategic vision view, and has prepared for the ongoing battle with China. And I think that this will have a very long-term impact in the global sphere of geopolitics as well, and it remains to be seen how it actually shapes up. So as of now, the India-China conflict is in a hot and cold phase. Sometimes it's picking up in conflict, sometimes there has been talks going on, but the brave Indian soldiers who are stationed there are keeping the Indian battle forces ready and always ready to defend. And for people like us, the citizens of India, who are kept safe by those brave souls. And I think that there will be a lot of changes that will be coming up over the period of next 2 to 3 months, when the winters will be very severe, and things can happen because the trust about the Chinese is not to be taken at a face value, because you can never really trust the Chinese when it comes to the their real intentions. So that's as of now the Indian-Chinese conflict is in an evolutionary phase and has already been one of the very important issues in the global geopolitics of 2020. With more updates, we'll be back. Keep safe, guys. Thank you. Signing off.